Welcome to another LinkedIn Sites. As always, I am grateful to those that say yes, because we always have people with such interesting and captivating backgrounds, insights, knowledge, and today is no exception with Kimberly Inez Mays. We'll start at the beginning. So who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so thank you. So, Kimberly Inez Mays, and I demystify technology for service-based businesses. I'm an avid puzzle solver, and I just really love to just unscramble things and give people aha moments. So, what I like to do is demystify technology through marketing automation, funnels, and AI. And I help people set up their email marketing, their CRMs, and use AI effectively. So, I also train and teach as well as implement for clients.
Oh, I think with the way AI is moving, there's such a need for kind of AI literacy, and the more people we get who can help people learn how to not just use these tools but use them really effectively is kind of the goal. And it's you and I are very
Mhm.
like-minded in that approach.
Yeah.
So you said demystifying, so I want to dig into kind of what that actually means. So
Mhm.
what is the main problem that you're kind of solving for your customers, your clients?
I think it's just information overwhelm and decision paralysis or analysis paralysis. So I would say that you can't even go on Facebook and scroll down a couple of posts without being sold something. So you're always sold this new system or this new webinar or this new way of thinking, and everybody has their own product that they're trying to pitch. What happens is that I think a lot of times the messaging to business owners is that you have to try everything and everything all at the same time. And it gets very overwhelming, gets confusing. I remember even before AI, even just setting up an email list, even setting up like a landing page versus a website, these things were complicated on their own. But now with just AI tools that can do these things in seconds, I find that you can really go down a rabbit hole of tools and things that you can do, but not should do. So one of the things that I like to do is just teach people just how to use it, how to get comfortable and acclimated with foundational large language models, how to do very simple business tasks because things don't really need to be complex, and a lot of people are selling complexity, and that's just not what I like to talk about.
It's interesting. I was listening to a webinar with McKinsey about agentic AI, and they
Mhm.
actually made a point that I thought was interesting, which is kind of going along with what I call infobesity, that information
Mhm.
overwhelm, which is AI is supposed to be this amazing tool to help you be more productive. And some people are experiencing the opposite effect because they're being bombarded with so many different tools and not sure how to use it, that they're spending a lot of time and they're actually getting distracted and being less productive because they're trying to sort it all out. And there isn't a user manual for how to effectively use AI. And I think that's why people like yourself is really important to help us,
Mhm.
overcome the overwhelm.
Yeah.
So who's your kind of ideal client?
Yeah, so anybody who provides a service, but namely coaches, speakers, consultants, authors, because those were the people that I served when doing the technological setups. But I can serve really any customer or any client that is in an information um, service-based business, like accountant, bookkeeper, things like that. But really focusing on those knowledgepreneurs.
Knowledgepreneurs. I don't know if I've heard that one before. I like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
I might start after saying I'm a knowledgepreneur. I think that's a
Mhm.
cool
Yeah.
turn of phrase. There are lots of books, uh, business books that are out there. There are great podcasts. Can you name one business book or podcast that you think was worth the time to either read or listen to?
Yeah, so the business podcast that I like to listen to is Everyday AI. Really love that. Really love that one. Back when I used to have to commute for over 90 minutes, I would have my podcast. I'd have so many things I'd listen to. Now I'm a little bit more pressed for time, so I don't listen to that many podcasts, but that is one that I make sure that I tune into. And then some of the business books I like, classics like Think and Grow Rich, some of the other ones like Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, some of my old ones. And it's just really too many to name. I'm just kind of drawing a blank here
Those
because
are
I just
great.
really
Those are. I get
yeah.
Everyday AI's newsletter, but I don't
Mhm.
listen to podcasts, so I'll have to. They always promote it, and it always looks really interesting. I'm like, oh, I don't have time, so I may have to dip into that. I think the topics are always really on trend, something that's going on right now with the news, and then they're digging into it. And I love that they're helping everyone kind of stay on top of things.
Hmm.
I listen to the artificial intelligence show, Paul Reutzer and Mike Capote. I love those guys. Just came from their conference,
Hmm.
and they're my gurus for staying on top of things. It's really, there's so much going on, and I listen to others as well. But you have those that are just really, that fit for what your purpose is, and I think it's important to find the ones. But it's always great to get suggestions, and Everyday AI, I'm sure, is a good one.
Hmm.
So this could be a little political, but can you name a LinkedIn connection that you're glad you have?
Yeah, so obviously the person that introduced us, so Ryan
Yeah,
Duffy, I'm really happy to have known him for a couple of years. He's just really great connection, positive energy. So, that is like one of the people I'm so happy I'm connected with. But I'm just connected with so many cool people. I just came back from an AI conference for women called She Leads AI, and I made so many brand new friends. It was just incredible.
I love that.
Mhm.
So one of the things AI is supposed to help us with is kind of creating content. And as a content marketer, I'm always, trying to help people create consistent and valuable content. So as a person in business, we always have to look to create content and feed the content beast. What do you think is, for you personally, is the biggest challenge in trying to create that consistent and valuable content?
A big challenge. I think a challenge is sometimes, well, I've overcame it, but what a challenge
Mhm.
was for me was to create content consistently every single day. And I found a repurposing format that personally works for me that just overcomes that. But I think, when people think, oh, you have to create content, people think, oh, I have to do something every day. I got to go into social media every day. I got to create different pieces of content, and people think it has to be unique content, which it definitely does not. You are allowed to repeat a topic. I recently had this aha moment maybe about a year ago. You're allowed to repeat your own talking points because the new people haven't heard what you said before, and maybe your new content is better. So I think that's also a challenge too, thinking like, oh, well, I already talked about landing pages. I can't make another video about landing pages. Well, maybe I can, because not everybody saw the first one.
Yeah, I kind of promote that to lots of people because I think there's this, yeah, it has to be new, and
Hmm.
repurposing is powerful, not just because it saves you time and but there's a concept in the content piece, the book I wrote about play the hits, which
Yeah.
is when you go see your favorite artist, you don't want them to play all the new stuff that you don't know. You want to play
Hmm.
the stuff that you love, and I think
Yeah.
content works the same way. It's like, oh yeah, this was that great piece that worked a year ago. It's still relevant, it still works. And as you said, there's always new people coming into the social media network that may have seen it. I think, and for those that may have seen it, they may not remember it. It's great
Hmm.
to reinforce it. We need more than one touch point. So I think, yeah, repurposing is something that is underutilized for a lot of people who are kind of just feeling the need to spin out new content, and it's simply not the case.
Hmm.
I mean, you don't want to just have content you've had before. I mean, the idea is,
Hmm.
I create this concept of, we've heard of evergreen content, stuff that you could
Yeah.
post today, tomorrow, and then what I call fresh cut content, which is stuff that's something just happened in the news. Now you can report about it, and you want that
Hmm.
balance of content. What is
Yeah.
your favorite content to create?
Yeah. So my favorite content to create, number one, I was actually going to talk about content pillars as well, because I think that's
Mhm.
like very important to have just 5 go-to areas that you're just, or 3, maybe not 5, but like 3 go-to areas you can just hit it out of park. But my favorite piece of content is actually video, and I'll explain why. I know a lot of people are very nervous on camera, so I may be talking to someone right now who's watching. If you're nervous on camera, like unless you say anything offensive or you just completely screw up, like just post it, don't even watch it back. That's how I got over a lot of my fears. And the reason why I like video is it's the easiest thing to repurpose. So if I make a long form video, maybe if I make a video that's like 15 minutes or 12 minutes long, I didn't take that video, take the transcript, and then I put that transcript. Well, I created a little app, but you can do this with a custom GPT. Take
Mhm.
that transcript, you can make quotes out of it and create that table of quotes, put that in Canva, boom, you have quote posts. You can take that, put it into social media posts. You can take that, put that into like a podcast. You can create your show notes, your YouTube description, all off of that one video. Because I find that a lot of my clients, a lot of people in my network, they make videos on live anyway, like Facebook Live, and that video just now they delete it after 30 days. So you produced all this wonderful content that's just going to disappear, has a short shelf life. So I say, repurpose videos. I think it's the easiest thing. And yeah, that's my favorite. I'm not going to sit and
And I
type a
love
blog.
the fact that you're like repurposing video, not just video, so not long form to
Mhm,
short form, but also for text-based, posts
mhm,
you can do. I took my book and did exactly what you said, as I chopped it up into a bunch of quotes, and then I can share them, over
mhm,
time and little tidbits. I think I refer to all this as snackable content. I think that's the
mhm,
kind of, we have short
yeah.
attention spans and not much time.
Mhm,
So to be able to take something you spent, an hour recording something, and now you can create tons of little snackable bites for people, which is really, really important.
mhm,
Okay, so now I'm, like you, a little obsessed with AI, and it's overwhelming for people. So I guess my,
mhm.
my feeling is I'm going to ask this question about, in terms of AI, for people who may not be using it daily or using it effectively, what's kind of the best tip you can think about how to get started and what really can help someone kind of understand how to
Yeah.
leverage it?
Yeah, so when I teach my live classes or when I taught my live classes earlier this year, I would never start out by saying, okay, well, now we're going to focus on one thing that can change your business forever. We don't start that high. So, what I had them do is take a plan of meal, plan of potluck dinner or something like that. Lower the temperature, just ease into it, be a little unserious at first, because I think that's
Right.
the best way to learn. And then I think there might be, and I'm talking to some people too who are just anti AI, like my younger sister, right? Because we see like AI fakes, deep fakes, we see people doing things with this technology that aren't very nice. So, how do you overcome that feeling of, okay, well, if I indulge in this, then I'm just like those people? You can definitely use AI for good as well. And I say, after you have a little bit of unserious fun with it, identify just one tiny little thing that you can just take out of your day that would save you 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes a
Mhm.
day. Start small. So if that is just replying to emails, you may just want to like load up like Gemini, whatever suits your fancy, and
Is that
then
your
just
favorite, by the way? Is Gemini your go-to?
see, that's the thing is like I'm just not I'm not loyal because they keep releasing new stuff every 5 minutes. And now I've got more into Gemini. My go-to before was like ChatGPT, which I still love.
Mhm.
Claude, I still love too, but these subscriptions do add up, so I turn them off and on just, just as needed. But yeah, just take something really small, get a small win because you're not
Mm.
gonna automatically just use AI and it's going to run perfectly and it's going to change everything. That's usually not how it is. And by the time you even could set up a system like that, like there's a new model that comes out, there's something else that comes out, and yeah, you'll just be overwhelmed again.
Yeah, there's two things I really want to point out that I agree with completely. One is the unserious fun. I haven't heard it described that
Hmm.
way. I usually say the best place to is just go play. What
Hmm.
does that look like? People are making, bedtime stories for their kids, or again, a
Hmm.
lot with the meals and things that are not, they're not life or death.
Yeah.
They're simple and fun, and just see how you can play with it that way. And then I think, yeah, the default for me is, if you're not sure where to
Hmm.
start or what to do, ask AI. So if
Hmm.
you're like, tell them who you are, what you do, and then say, what are some use cases for how I can
Hmm.
use you? What are the tasks I can take off my plate? And
Hmm.
just have the conversation and explore. So for me, the biggest advice I give people is just be curious. And for the people that are kind of anti AI, I understand they may be afraid, but
Hmm.
one of the things that the studies have shown is the people that are most afraid of those that haven't used it. Usually, when they start
Hmm.
using it, that we fear the unknown. So get to know it a little bit.
Hmm.
There are certainly, challenges and risks that you need to be mindful of, but it is super powerful, and it can really be a tool for good. And I think that's the point. We want more people using it for the good things. And the more people we get who understand how to use it, the more we can contextualize that benefit for the good guys.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, it's a remarkable opportunity, I think, for
Hmm.
people to really lean in and I think it's still new. they were the same people that said stuff about social. They're the same people who there were
Mhm.
people, a group of people that said the same thing about the internet. I was at a conference and someone showed. I'm going to definitely. I was going to say appropriate. Share that when calculators came out in the
Mhm.
1960s, there were actually protests by math teachers.
Mhm.
So, again, technology has that effect sometimes, and AI is certainly, I think, revolutionizing in its capacity to help, and therefore it's an even bigger um, obstacle for those people that are wary of technology. But in the same way, I think it's also going to be the type of thing that's going to remarkably impact things for good.
Mhm.
Now, I have a very important question for you, Kimberly.
Okay.
It's my final question.
Okay.
So, in the pantheon of animated characters,
Mhm.
who is your favorite?
Oh boy, this is hard. Like, because I love so many animated characters. I'm an 80s baby, 90s child.
Mhm.
So, darn, it probably has to be something from the Disney Renaissance. Ah, darn, I don't know. Let's see, animated characters. I know I gotta answer quickly because I don't have all day. All
Take
right, so
your
it has to be,
time.
somebody who's like super smart and clever and just like I'm just drawing a blank right now. I'm just trying to think. Probably an anime character too.
Hmm. I don't know them as
Like
I'm definitely in the Disney realm of. I think of Belle from Beauty and the Beast because she's bookworm and super smart. And um,
mhm.
when you talked about that, that was one of the areas I like
Yeah,
too.
and it's like I'm trying also not to mention a villain because I also think villains make it's like really the backbone of the whole story. But yeah, I definitely do like Belle. I definitely do like Princess Tiana from like Princess and
Hmm.
the Frog.
Yep.
There's like so many animated characters, and probably when we stop talking, I'll think of like a ton of them. But I just like people who are kind of like the anti-hero as well and find their own journey. And
Well, that makes
yeah,
me think of Mulan because again, she
yes.
was a badass,
Hmm.
and that's kind of like
Yes, Mulan was
unexpectedly so. Like I think,
mhm. Mulan, Pocahontas, Nala from Lion King. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's I love that question just because I think it's, I love animation. I produce animation and I think it's a fun thing. But what has really been fun is having this chat with you.
Mhm.
I really appreciate it and want to thank you for just giving a bit of your time and sharing a bit about what you do
Mhm.
and helping us, as I like to say, connect those dots. So thank you.
Yeah.
And what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you if they want to learn more?
Yeah. So the best way to get in touch with me is to find me. You can go to my website, KimberlyInezMays.com, or I'm the most active on LinkedIn. So you can just find me, just three names, Kimberly Inez Mays. You'll find me, send me a message, send me an invite to connect. That's the best way to reach me. I would say email too, but I get inundated with emails, so that might be a little slower. So LinkedIn for sure, and through my website, you should find my socials.
Thank you again so much, and look forward to further conversations about
Mhm.
AI in the world of automation. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. Okay.